He was the first person in American history to hijack a commercial plane, forever etching his name into the annals of crime and mystery. On the evening of Wednesday, November 24th, 1971, the eve of Thanksgiving, a man identifying himself as Dan Cooper arrived at the airport and purchased a flight ticket for only $20 with Northwest Airlines. Little did anyone know that this unassuming man, whose real identity remains elusive, would orchestrate one of the most audacious and puzzling acts of aviation history. Cooper, who appeared to be in his mid-40s, dressed smartly in a black suit, long coat, white shirt, brown shoes, and a black tie. He carried a suitcase and a small paper bag, behaving like any other passenger as he boarded the Boeing 727 aircraft that would take him from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. It was a different era back then, and domestic flights allowed passengers to board without presenting identification, creating an environment where hijacking was tragically easier. Once the plane was airborne, Cooper revealed his true intentions by quietly slipping a note to a nearby stewardess. The content of that note would forever change the course of the flight and launch a manhunt that would span decades. In the note, Cooper calmly informed the stewardess that he possessed a bomb and demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck upon landing. Maintaining an air of confidence, Cooper's well-thought-out plan was set in motion. The plane captain was informed of the demands, and the airline complied to ensure the safety of the passengers and crew. Cooper's brilliance lay in his foresight. By requesting 4 parachutes, he aimed to deceive the authorities into thinking he might take hostages with him, thereby making it less likely for the FBI to tamper with the parachutes. The plane landed at a remote part of Seattle Airport, far from prying eyes, as Cooper had directed. He insisted on closed windows to prevent any snipers from targeting him during the escape. With the money, parachutes, and fuel truck provided, he released all the passengers, and the aircraft took off again, now carrying only the flight crew, Cooper, and the weight of an unprecedented act of crime. At approximately 8 p.m., as darkness enveloped the skies, Cooper ordered the flight attendants to join the pilots in the cockpit, leaving him alone in the cabin. This was a crucial moment. Unbeknownst to Cooper, his fate would be sealed shortly thereafter. As the plane continued its flight towards Mexico at an altitude of 10,000 feet with the landing gear down, the FBI had discreetly dispatched fighter jets to trail the hijacked plane. Inside the aircraft, a warning light illuminated the cockpit, indicating that the rear stairway door had been opened. The plane's pilot, alerted to the situation, discovered that Cooper had jumped out of the plane, disappearing into the night and ultimately into history. The ensuing investigation was a colossal effort, but despite extensive searches and leads, no trace of Cooper was found. His fate and true identity have been the subject of numerous theories, investigations, and suspects over the years, but none have been conclusively proven. The FBI received numerous tips and leads, and the number of suspects reached as high as 800 at one point. Still, over time, the list was narrowed down to only 24 main suspects. Among the prime suspects were Richard Floyd McCoy, who had similarities to Cooper and had previously carried out a hijacking with similar tactics, and Duane Weiber, who confessed to being Cooper on his deathbed. Kenneth Christensen, a former Northwest Airlines worker with some circumstantial connections to the crime, and Robert Rackstro, a helicopter pilot with questionable behavior and associations, were also considered. Despite these leads, no definitive evidence tied any of these individuals to the elusive hijacker. Some experts theorize that Cooper may not have survived the daring jump, and his body might have been swept away by the river's currents before reaching the Pacific Ocean. It was suggested that the bundles of money found years later along the riverbank could have been swept from the forest where Cooper landed. Curiously, the one clue that might have led to Cooper's true identity was a black tie he left behind on the plane. Unfortunately, DNA testing technology was not available at the time, and when the tie was later examined, it revealed rare chemicals used in Boeing's manufacturing plants, but it did not provide a direct link to Cooper's identity. As the years passed, the mystery only deepened and the trail grew colder. The FBI officially closed the case in 2016, acknowledging that they had exhausted all leads and possibilities. Despite the relentless pursuit of justice and closure, the identity of D.B. Cooper and his ultimate fate remain one of the most captivating and enduring unsolved mysteries in American history, leaving behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and mystify the world.